This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
I'm going to Disney World. I'm going to...
Whoa. You're not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rats, man. Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about Disney magic without the pixie dust. I am Nathan Hartman, and with me today on this beautiful podcast, this wonderful time, let's just go down the list. Victoria, hello, Victoria.
Hello there.
And Janine, how are you, Janine?
Hey, I'm good. I'm glad to be back.
We're glad to have you back. And Sarah, hello, Sarah.
Hello.
And Dave is out. He's a busy man. So we have a hopefully a regular guest. Itzy, welcome back.
Hi.
So good to have you. Before we started the recording, I believe Janine said something that I want to get in a little more detail with. So Janine, I believe you have just moved to your new apartment and you have lost the thing that clips your stand together for your microphone. So what are you using for your microphone stand? What is your microphone currently sitting in?
Well, I discovered this briefly before we started recording. So I just looked around the trash heap that is my boyfriend's desk where I record.
Shade.
And first I tried, it's fine, a glass cup that we had a margarita in a couple days ago that's still here. And I got yelled at for that because it reverberates too much.
Yes.
So I grabbed the Pringles can.
Yes.
That's here. That's
So
the
you
empty
shoved your
Pringles
microphone
can.
into the
And
Pringles
I've
can.
shoved the microphone into the Pringles can because it was too low. If it's just
Yeah, we should have
lower.
drilled a hole in the side of the Pringles can. You could put the microphone cord through it. It'd been very fancy.
it
Well,
would,
I have several
yeah.
questions. To
Well,
start,
hold on.
what flavor were the Pringles?
Yes, let's start there.
That's
What
what I
flavor?
was thinking. What flavor?
They are cheddar and sour cream.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
this is a cheddar sour cream sound coming from Janine's microphone tonight.
I would have
Um,
liked the jalapeno one because it's a little spicy.
That would have been
my
nice.
personal favorite.
Janine, you said though about the difference between the glass and the Pringles is you said when you rub your hand against a Pringles can, you don't get a sound like you would a glass. And you're not wrong, but it's a very funny thing to say.
That's
'Cause
so
I-
specific.
Yes.
So some context, when I was a teenager, I really got into the
What's it called?
you know, I don't know, like the singing glasses, like taking a wine glass and
we're gonna call it the tingling. I don't know what else it would
the
be called.
tingling. Yes,
tingling.
that works.
Yeah.
And I remember going to like all the thrift stores and picking up wine glasses at like 16 and like filling them and trying to like make music with them.
Filling
so
them
that's like
in the thrift store?
no, when I got home,
Oh,
I would like
okay.
set them up and then I would be like, okay, I'm gonna try to like get pitches out of these things.
We're back,
And,
bitches. Tingling.
It never worked, but well, I mean, to some extent it did. It made noise.
Right.
It just never made music.
That's because
so
it has to be
anyway,
like pure.
that's-
It has to be like pure crystal, right? Isn't it the
I
thing?
don't think so. No, I don't think so.
that's why it works. Is because it's crystal.
You know,
Really? 'Cause
crystal
I
is
thought you
just
could just-
glass.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but not all glass is crystal, right?
Are you
Yeah.
sure?
Look, Erebus
No.
Brothers has taught me one thing, and there's crystal arts, and then there is glasses.
It's like the purity of the glass, I guess.
Right.
But,
So, I mean, as we know, you get the purest glasses if you go to thrift stores.
I think
Garfield
it's
mugs tend to
more
make very
like
nice
how
tinglings.
thin it is. I think it just has to be thin.
Mm.
I
Okay.
just have to
That's right.
say,
But I feel like what we just learned about Janine is that she's a recycle queen. She
She's-
loves the thrift store. She
she's the most-
recycles the Pringles can. So-
she's literally the
Sarah's
most
putting a
interesting
nice feminist
person.
spin on this for some reason.
yes, like I said, women in STEM. We
Yes,
love a woman in
queen.
STEM. Yes.
Janine is
Oh,
literally
yeah.
the
So,
most interesting person. Every time I learn
Yes.
a new fact about Janine, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You really are interesting. Like you're into some pretty cool shit. Like a lot of stuff that I have never even thought of. So
I
it's
was in a
pretty
noise
cool.
band. Did you know that you can play a violin with a vinyl record?
What?
No.
Oh, what
no.
band?
Yeah,
did-
that's
that's
a
pretty
thing
cool.
that I've discovered that I don't think anyone's probably ever done.
I'm about to make a whole segment that's just Janine facts.
Literally every single podcast, you should just like come up with a new fact.
Yeah, we
Victoria,
played
you
at,
had more
Skate
questions,
Park
didn't you,
Tampa.
about the Pringles can before?
Oh yeah,
we move
Pringles
forward?
can. I'm an open book. Ask me about my.
I mean, I don't even know anymore. I was just confused.
Is it
like,
original
fine.
design Pringles or is it new designed Pringles look?
It looks relatively retro.
Okay. I think this is important information for everybody. So,
Yeah.
and on that note, let's
That's what
go to the
people want
news.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna leave Janine's Pringles can, and we're going to go to something just as important. Janine, will you actually? That sounds bad because this is actually a subject that is actually legitimately important.
Yeah, this
so
is
it's a
that's,
bad transition.
as wonderful as the Pringles can is.
Yes. So no transition, cutting transitions. There's not been a transition. Nathan did not try to make a transition because this next subject is a little. It's pretty devastating if it's all true, and I have no reason to not believe this cast member. So Janine, give us what's going. We're starting with the bummer stories tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It'll get better. All our friends.
It's a
So,
roller coaster, you know.
Yeah, it's a real roller coaster tonight. Hit us. What do we got?
Yeah, so back in September, there was a public Facebook post from a girl named Morgan who worked for Disney. She has what was it? Cerebral palsy, like mild cerebral palsy, and
Several
she
other ailments
and
as well.
a few
yeah.
other, ailments, and she requested a pretty basic accommodation from Disney, which is she should be able to not stand for more than 30 minutes at a time. She should be allowed to sit. And Disney refused that accommodation, and it went so far as to pretty much become a hostile work environment for her. They cut her hours and then eventually terminated her position in late November. So yeah, it's really terrible. It's not a hard accommodation. Apparently at one point they refused to let her sit. They were putting her in like the stock room and making her stock things, even though she has a limitation on not lifting anything more than 10 pounds because she's unsteady on her feet. And one of the times, actually 3 of the times that she was forced to stand, she passed out. And one of those times she hit her head and had convulsions and had to go to the hospital. It's shocking, honestly, that Disney couldn't meet a simple accommodation of like put her at a cash register where she can sit on a stool. Like how hard is that?
I mean, I've seen cast members do that. I've seen it occur. So,
So apparently her immediate managers were not great and blew her off. So she is, as an update recently, she has retained an attorney and is suing Disney for violating her ADA accommodations. That
She
should
totally should.
Yeah,
Get
100%.
all the money because this is absolutely ridiculous. When I worked at Disney, there were like a few locations that were in stores where you could sit down that were like designated to a specific group of people who had these accommodations, but they were so few and far between that when people did try to come up and say, hey, I also cannot stand for long periods of time, because when I was working there, you weren't allowed to even like literally lean on a stool. Like they just started bringing out the stools to where people could sit on those standing locations. But yeah, like those accommodations are so easy to make. It's not that difficult. It doesn't mess with show. It doesn't mess with the guest experience whatsoever. So for them to not want to accommodate, it sucks. And I hope she gets something out of this. I mean, the humiliation, it happened and it's there, but at least get some sort of bag for it.
Isn't it wild that it could have been a simple solution? Just give her a stool, and now Disney's getting sued for it. Like, it's a very minor thing. And if you've ever worked retail, like, it's just for anybody. It's grueling to be on your feet for that long, having to stand in one isolated area. Like, you don't even
That's
get to
the
walk
one
around.
thing. It's one thing to walk. It feels better on your body. It's easier on less stress on your body to be in movement. But if you're just standing in one spot, that is incredibly taxing.
In those hot ass costumes also in Florida, like it's awful. It's totally awful. But some of these managers are assholes. That's just how they are.
Well, it says right here, it says that according to her, a guest experience manager, I don't know if it's connected to her, but someone in guest experience told her during her tenure that inclusiveness is a public relations thing. It's not what you think, according to the lawsuit.
Well, I'm glad they're saying it out loud, you know,
I mean,
absolutely.
We've all seen since they've added the key that it's
crazy.
Not necessarily meant that much to them. So beyond some PR stuff. So they're not necessarily wrong. But I don't think that's a good thing either.
So did this like get up all the way like to the chain of command and like HR, or was this just like a manager lead issue? Because she's saying there was retaliation.
As a CM, Sarah, as someone who's been in the cast member position, what would you have to do? I don't know the ladder. At Disneyland, what was that ladder like? Could you even get to HR?
You could, because there was like a team HR like literally right in the hub area, like right where you can go in and you're clocking in. There is an HR there, so you can go to these people to complain about those situations. But unfortunately, a lot of the stuff that happens backstage, it's not really like public information. The information isn't really given out to everybody, and it's like it's not really readily available. So maybe she didn't know. But
and even then,
if you
then there have been many cases of a lot of misconduct happening.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it gets taken to HR and nothing happens.
Nothing ever happens. Like it typically stays like within a manager issue. Like sometimes these managers don't take these issues up that far. So it's a shitty situation. And
I really do hate to say it because like, you know, nobody ever wants to like put a damper on the magic of working at Disney, but Disney is notorious for like if you complain about sexual harassment going on between a cast member or stalking, even they do not take any of that seriously, and they're like, oh, we'll just relocate you and keep him here.
Sometimes they don't even do that. They'll just say, oh, are you sure? Like, are you sure that happened? Maybe we can get you a different shift. But like, no, they're not good about it at all. And I think it just goes back to these managers and leads. At the end of the day, they're people, and there can be shitty cast members there. That's just how it is.
Yeah, and I mean, just so we're clear, this is probably not a new problem. I think, especially harassment. I'm sure. I'm gonna guess when Disneyland opened in 1955, there's probably some sexual harassment that happened at Disneyland. Like, just probably. But we don't have, we don't know because we don't have record. I would love if people would talk about that stuff. But it's always when you have these big companies that are so full of people and so easily like, well, if you don't want the job, we'll hire someone else. I'm
telling you, some of these people are predators. Like,
oh, totally, 100%.
They are total predators. Like, you will have managers 30 years old dating 18-year-old cast members. Like, what are you doing? And nobody says a word because they're afraid of the retaliation. Like, retaliation at Disney is real. Like, I've experienced it myself. It got to the point where I literally quit my job because of retaliation. So it's not a fun situation to be in. Cast member life can get really depressing, and it can really suck sometimes when it comes to these types of situations.
But at least they're paid well.
Sure. Yeah. Janine, tell us how well they're paid.
Well, in the continuing saga of the union negotiations with Disney, Disney refused to offer, quote, even 1 cent of a wage increase for cast members. 96% of union members rejected Disney World's offer to gradually raise wages to $20, keeping the current wage. I think they were saying $16 an hour. So it's currently $15. They were offering to bump to $16. In comparison, Orlando has already announced, without any union battle or anything, an increase of their base pay to $17 an hour.
Universal
Orlando. Yeah. I'm sure Hollywood is probably higher. Maybe. I don't know about it.
Oh, like,
I don't know, it's LA.
Their base pay?
Yeah.
Well, Disneyland's base pay right now is about 18. I think it's like $18.50. Okay. And then for Hollywood, I think it's the same thing, right, Victoria?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe a little higher because it is LA, but it's around there. It starts like around $18.
Yeah, it's about 18. It starts at 18, so I'm almost certain it's at least
wild
18.
to me that they are currently $2 an hour under their competitors as far as pay.
Well, guess who has a new theme park they need to fill with people?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if I'm gonna be real, I've been told things. I cannot speak on certain things about it, but I have been told that Universal is looking for entertainment, and basically people who work for Disney currently are saying that Universal looking a lot better right now. So
y'all better start jumping ship.
It's so wild that the news of and the verbatim of like they won't like move even a cent came in the heels of Universal's announcement of $18 or $17 an hour.
17, yeah.
Well, I
on
mean,
top of hiring freezes.
I think Universal knew that. I think Universal came out right after and was like, but hello.
We're here.
Which totally like good on Universal, I think, because
which on the heels of that, plus, Bobby Iger, Robert our dude, laying off 7,000 jobs. It's not looking too good right now.
It's a dark time for Disney.
I mean, I kind of felt like we knew they were going to do this at some point, but you know how Disney does. They'll like announce some big shit to cover up whatever is not going well right now. Like, why do you think Rogers the Musical happened today?
Yeah, we'll talk about that, everybody.
We'll get into that, but it's just an example.
What was the announcement that came out when they announced like the layoffs? Because I remember there was an announcement.
It was the annual pass holder. They can. It was like that day where they just was bombing us when news
came out too, right?
And the Little Mermaid teaser came out. Yeah.
But you can get a discount at the Star Cruiser. So
that's right. Cast members can get 50% off at the Star Cruiser.
50% off of $5,000. Can they even afford that? Be serious. Like
we'll give you a discount. We won't give you a raise though.
Here's the other thing: is it's $15 an hour, and not one person in the parks is full time.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe some people are. Of course, some people are in management, but like
and things like that.
But the majority.
I don't even know if it puts it into perspective, but I did my college program back in 2012, and I think I was making maybe $10.
Yeah.
Hell no. No. that would be a no.
15
and then I was working DRC 2017, and I was making 13.
That's
maybe
crazy.
12.
That's nuts.
I remember at Disneyland, we started with like 11 something, and that was like back in 2017. And then I remember when they like made those big jumps, like it was a drastic change, and it actually did improve a lot of people's lives that were living here.
Yeah.
But it's still not matching up to Orange County's living like standard. Not at all.
Absolutely not.
The thing that you
absolutely
would hear,
not.
The thing that you would hear in the Midwest is that Disney pays well. Even the janitors get paid very well. And like it's not looking like that anymore.
Right.
No. And it feels like a total scam to be working at Disney right now. And even I feel like the people that are getting scammed the most, like you mentioned, Victoria, the Disney college program.
College program.
They get
exploited. Let me tell you.
I feel bad for y'all. Like it working those shifts, and then at the end, because you get the good thing, they tell you the quote unquote good thing about Disney college program is that you get priority on shifts. But you're working all these crazy hours. You're working 36, 40 hours a week. You're not even getting full-time benefits, and then they come back and they take like a damn near 50% of your check for rent. Like you're screwed.
And then they know they're young because all they're going to do is spend the remainder of that on fucking merch. So it's like
and somebody was saying that like Disney's essentially creating influencers through these college program kids because it's free marketing. They're going into the parks, they're making the TikToks, the Instagram pages. Each college program kid has their own Instagram page with damn near 2,000 followers. There you go, free marketing.
And let me just tell you, you bring this point up on the internet, and you have people who did the college program way back in the time when like it first started coming at you saying, well, I had a good time. I had a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sure you did at the time, but take a step away and realize what is happening. What is the reality right now?
Oh, no, and the ones absolutely true.
Yeah. And the ones that are there right now are drinking the Kool-Aid. Like,
they are sipping hard.
And I was
they are sipping hard,
well,
man.
Is it
like I got a friend, she applied for full-time and the college program. She didn't get the full-time, but she got the college program. I was sitting there telling her, like, you realize you ain't gonna have no fucking benefits, right? And she was like, I don't care. And I'm like, girl, okay.
And they create that culture. They create that culture for them to be so in, like, Disney just becomes their whole life, where they don't realize that they're being exploited. Like, the minute you take a step back away from it, like, you know, rose-colored glasses the mouse-colored glasses get turned off.
Guys, it's a cult. You realize college program's a cult, right?
Oh, yeah. It's a whole cult.
Yes.
You're isolated.
Whole cult.
I mean, let's talk about it. You're isolated. So there's an example. Your money's pretty much, as we've said, funded through one area, and you have sex a lot. So cult.
They ain't having sex. Let's be real.
Huh?
Oh,
no,
my dear.
Girl.
Let me tell you.
Oh, girl.
No. It was just shade. It was shade.
Girl, things happen after Jelly Rolls. I've heard.
I've heard the little gala parties, like, they get gross and nasty.
Oh, girl. R.I.P. Vista Way couches. Let me tell you.
Bring a black light in there.
No.
Okay. Oh, the hot tub, the Vista Way hot tub. I think it's still there. No, they got rid of it because people kept on having sex in it.
Is it in public?
I mean, it's in college program.
Yeah,
it's in college program.
Well, it's not the DCPs anymore. It's not Disney's. They're regular apartment complexes now. But I think they got rid of it. Like, they covered it up because of that.
Harley.
It's a cult. Let's talk about somebody, though. We've talked about Universal, we've talked about Disney, but let's talk about how Disney's feeling the burn before we move on. Janine, Disney's feeling the burn a little bit.
Daddy Bernie has opinions on the CEO of Disney.
Wait.
My Theo Bernie.
What did you call that man?
Daddy Bernie.
Daddy Bernie.
Janine, may I read the quote? I think I could do it in my best Bernie Sanders impression.
Okay. Do it.
Oh, God.
Oh, he would have an impression. Okay.
All right, let's see here. I gotta bring it up here real quick. And let's see here. If Disney can afford to give $200 million golden parachute last year to a CEO who did a lousy job, it can afford to pay Disney cast members who are struggling to pay the rent and groceries a minimum wage, at least $18 an hour. I say to Disney, pay your workers a living wage. There you go. There's
well done. That was.
Thank you.
I was.
That wasn't bad.
I wish everybody could see the body language.
Oh, there was hands. Like, he fully embodied.
Yeah, he was fully committed to that impression.
But you have to. Like, if you
I'm
just
always committed to my impressions. Yeah,
they're always good. They're really good.
Yeah,
I just wish it started with "well," which is something he says a lot.
Oh yeah. So yeah, Bernie thinks Chapek sucks. We should send him a shirt.
Yes, we should.
Yeah. So Bernie's behind the movement, that's great. Good for
Always
Bernie.
Good.
As is Abigail Disney, to no one's surprise, but you know.
Yeah.
Stan her.
It's weird though to hear more conservative Disney people that I know come out and they're like, "See, Bernie Sanders says Chapek sucks," and I'm like, "Now you like Bernie Sanders?" And also, if that's true, can we vote in the primary, please?
True.
Right.
True.
But you know,
it's also just crazy that, like, it's leaving our bubble. This talk of wages, and it's specifically for Disney and cast members. It's like a movement something's gonna pop. Something is gonna happen that they have to realize that, like, the eyes are on them now.
Yeah. I mean, I see it for. Go ahead, Victoria.
I think like next week or the week after next, they have the ability to strike. Correct?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Like, after a certain point, they cast members have the right to strike.
I did not know that.
I think it's March 7th or something like that.
Yep.
Wow.
But the unfortunate thing is, will they even have the ability to strike? Like, that's kind of the difficult part. They won't.
It's a huge sacrifice.
It is. And
but they may not have a choice. I mean, that's the part of being.
That's the whole thing.
But I feel like, in terms of, it's unfortunate because when it comes to situations like this, it's not a lot of people are willing to buy in. Not a lot of people are willing to sacrifice, especially when it comes to Disney. And if this would have happened, it would have happened a long time ago, I feel like. So
it's very easy to throw your vote in
Yeah.
You know, when it comes at
Yeah.
no real consequence. But like a lot of cast members also drink the Kool-Aid.
And
Yeah.
it's a job. Like, we're going into a recession. Like, it's not easy to get hired these days. So if you got to
that's
keep your
the
job,
other
you got to
issue.
keep your job.
A lot of
Yeah.
cast members, unfortunately, are homeless. Like, some of them live in their car. So for them to just be like, I'm going to risk this one source of income that I have, it would be a really tough decision. Because as you said,
Totally.
retaliation is a big thing.
Yeah.
And Disney has taught them that they are expendable. There will always be somebody who wants to be a cast member. I remember there were people that were like, yeah, this is my 5th time applying. Like, I really want this job so bad. Da da da. And it's just like, that's great, but like, you don't know what it's really like over here.
But gang, just so we're clear, if they go on strike, 45,000 employees have to go on strike. Like, even if that's for a day, that's crazy. That's
millions of dollars, like, going down.
That's the
drain for
parks
Disney.
getting closed.
Yeah.
Disney is breaking down as it is because lack of staffing. Can you imagine if they, like, just nobody goes to work?
Just
I mean,
a
it would be
third
like,
of those people.
It'd be
like, it
Disneyland
would make a
Paris is
difference.
what it would be, which
it would exactly.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that, but I love it. You know,
I mean,
I would.
this is
I
just
want to
a
go to
fuck around
Disney
and
in
find out
solidarity.
situation.
I'll walk with them. I'll walk with them in solidarity. If it, you know, let's
You
do
know,
it.
so this is some Victoria. I saw your TikTok about this. I think it was either today or yesterday, where you were talking about influencers and their social responsibility to cast members to kind of like stand up and use their platforms. And I feel like this is a perfect opportunity to bring that up, because obviously we just talked about how these cast members cannot risk their jobs. So it now becomes the consumer's issue. Like, are you willing to sacrifice the Disney vacation? Are you willing to kind of have your voice be heard, not just about stupid Splash Mountain, but about people's actual wages? Like,
true.
The issue that comes with that, though, is, as you've said, the influencers come from the college program. So they are drinking the Kool-Aid, and they do not want to accept that there is an issue happening. They want to stay in this dream world.
Yeah. I wish I could create some sort of annual pass holder, like, I don't even know what it would be called, coalition of just like, look, we are a body of pass holders, and we are going to go. We are 200,000 pass holders strong, and we are not going to renew unless like union demands.
No, Disney's like, please.
Yeah, they'd love it probably more than anything. Yeah,
go ahead.
The door's that way.
You're in the way.
Pretty much.
The door.
That's why. Why do you think the Facebook group is just a cesspool? Because it's people who the people Disney want, where they're like, oh, this sucks, I'm gonna leave, but then they drink the Kool-Aid even more.
Yeah,
it's like, I know you're gonna be there next Friday. Don't lie. It's okay. You made the reservation.
It's okay. Honestly, I'd rather you just be honest about it. Like,
exactly.
Like, it's okay. Both things can be true. You can go want to get a corn dog, and you can also want them to have wages that are livable. Both can be true.
And you know that Disney's making enough money that they can do that.
They're gonna be fine.
Yeah. I mean, if they, what I don't understand is you're fucking over your college program. So why don't you have the money again to pay like your regular, like you literally have indentured servitude at Disney, and you're telling me you still don't have enough money?
They'll keep pointing the finger at Disney Plus. They'll keep pointing the finger at Disney Plus.
Oh my God,
Disney Plus isn't making enough money. Therefore, we have to cut all of these jobs, which I'm like, isn't that the reason you created like the different pillars of the company so that they don't bleed over in this way?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a monster of their own making, though. Like, ain't nobody telling them to do that.
Yeah, well,
but they just announced a couple $1 billion in revenue from the theme parks. Y'all don't have $1? Like, just $1? Like,
theme parks tend to be the most consistent. Beyond pandemics and recessions, which who knows now, but it's true. Like, there are times when the theme park kept Disney the company afloat.
A lot, yeah.
In Walt's time. So it's it's an interesting thing, and I guess I would say when it comes to the cast members, and it's funny about we're talking about people we don't always agree with in the community. Like Tom Corliss went on like a 40-minute rant, and he was entirely. I was like, you know what? I know him. I'll go ahead and watch it. I'll see what he says. He was entirely right. Like he made like it is a. We all agree that you can't bullshit us and be like it's all about the cast members and then not pay them. That's not how it works. So I need to either have them get paid or Iger and Damaro can shut the fuck up because they don't get the space to talk
anymore.
This way. No,
listen,
not at all.
Bobby Iger needs to give that Cardigan Daddy title back to Mr. Rogers right now because I am not happy with him.
Yeah, I almost like I expect it from him because we've had so much time with him. Damaro, on the other hand, I don't. He's starting to, I don't know. He's just slowly evolving into Rick Scott in my brain. His hair is falling out, and he's just turning.
I saw through that shit from the jump. I was just like, y'all just giving that man pretty privilege, and
that's what it is.
Just letting him do whatever you want.
Exactly.
And here's the thing.
I'm like, oh y'all, it's right.
When the announcement that like Chapek was leaving, everybody said, okay, now Josh D'Amaro can finally have the free reins to like be the person that he wanted to be under the reign. And I said, you really think he had no say at all whatsoever?
Right.
In any of these changes? Like, why
are y'all
we
that
acting,
dumb?
Why are we acting like these are not businessmen and instead they're like children in student council that gets overpowered by the popular girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, be, as the children are saying, BFFR.
Right, be fucking for real. Yes. But I feel like it's really frustrating because I think Disney's not understanding that they're losing out on their base. If you're not treating your employees well, people pay attention now. Like,
absolutely.
Like, social capital is so important. And you would think that Disney would understand this, but it's like, what is not clicking here? For you to say not even 1 cent, like, that just sounds so crazy. Like, it's so disrespectful to the people that make your literal entire experience.
They do not understand the power of social media. And you can tell by the way they run their Twitters, by the way they run their TikToks. Like, if you look at their Twitter page, a lot of their posts feels like something that would have been posted on Facebook, like, in 2009. Like, they are still stuck in there. And the one time that they try to be, like, funny, snarky, like, Universal, it did not work well for them.
No.
They don't understand.
That's not their brand.
It's not their brand, but they also, I don't think they understand the landscape. Like, at least D23, they have younger people working the social media aspect of it. So they understand the space a little bit more. And that's why D23's memes and tweets and, like, they get numbers. Mm-hmm. I have yet to see, like, a Disney post that has gone viral.
Well, and that's because most of their posts are almost direct content from the blog, and they link to the blog, and the blog is sometimes one of the worst written things I've ever read. Just horrible. And it's funny because I'm doing research right now and I'm reading old 80s press releases from Disney. It's really not changed that much. It's the same sort of like standard how you write a press release. And that's it. Like, it is what it is. Anyway, let's keep moving forward. Go ahead, Itzy. Finish us off.
I was just going to say, what you just said, that it hasn't changed much from the 80s, is just a good sentiment of the company overall, where they thought they were safe for so many years, and now they're not. Yeah,
totally. 100%.
Yeah.
Let's head on over to California for a little bit of news we've already talked about for a second. I guess, Janine, this falls under you. I hope you had a second to look at it.
I did. This is the only thing on our...
I'm so excited.
Agenda today that I saw in the wild because I started a new job recently and I don't look at social media anymore.
Oh, that sounds pleasant.
New job.
It's pretty great. But Rogers the Musical is coming to the Hyperion Theater at DCA. So I know.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, some people are very excited about that. Good for you guys.
If they don't stop fucking around and give us back Aladdin, I am sick of this.
I prefer
want Aladdin back.
I'm Team Aladdin.
Sarah's like, this is against my people. Bring me Aladdin
some
back.
Bullshit.
It is Islamophobic. Like, I feel like we...
Wait, not Islamophobic.
It is. And I feel
they
like...
said it's only. They said it's limited. So,
yeah,
girl, as limited as gonna be for the rest of the year. Like, oh my gosh,
and you know what? I hope it is.
You're right. You're right. They keep saying, electrical parade is going to die, and then it never dies, and they come back in 2 years. So,
but they want to give us mediocre. They're like, here you go. Like,
no, Sarah, you and I are gonna have to tussle in this because listen,
not tussle,
not tussle.
I think what Disney is, especially DCA, is missing is just campy, silly, stupid fun. And I think Rogers the Musical is really stupid, silly fun. Because here's the thing that I don't think, from the reactions that I've seen on Twitter, is they're like, but this is bad. And I said, you think we don't know? You think we don't understand that this is not Broadway level productions?
Like, that's the whole point. Like,
no, I get that it's
camp.
I totally get
camp.
Yeah, it's camp.
It's camp.
Like, that's
camp.
what it is.
It's camp.
I guess I just want good stuff.
I mean, it works because we needed something in the Hyperion anyway, and it ties in Hollywood land and the Avengers campus, so it works. But still, like, I just wanted Aladdin back.
I mean, if
like,
anything, you want to talk about something that needs something, they need to do something with that Little Mermaid theater in Hollywood Studios.
Oh, it's too small for anything interesting. This is the problem with it. It's too small. It's going to be turned in, if they take out Little Mermaid, it's going to get turned into a theater. It's going to be like a movie something, because it's too small to really. They shouldn't even show Little Mermaid in it. It's too small. It's tiny.
What does Disney need to do
something
to buy the rights of Bluey in order to have Bluey in that one small Disney Junior section?
Yeah, it's true. Just go ahead and make that whole section.
I will literally be seated.
Yeah,
I will be seated, sat first row.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I
am just
I'm trying to remember I had an idea for this. I'm trying to remember what it was when it came to Hyperion. I mentioned it on Twitter the other day.
Didn't they do Rogers
instead of Rogers
at D23 Expo?
I did see that.
Yeah, they did it.
Yeah, and it was all right. Like, if that's what we're looking for,
Say one more thing about Adam Pascal's voice, Sarah. You and I are gonna have to tussle. Put your fist up.
I'm scared. Don't tussle.
I'm gonna why I oughta.
Hyperion should just do Tokyo's Big Band Beat is the thing. If you've ever watched Big Band Beat from Tokyo,
oh yeah, Big Band Beat is good.
Which is just American swing music, and Mickey literally comes out and plays the drums, and it rules. It's an amazing show, and it's super fun. And I don't know the logistics of that stuff getting reused by I don't know what the Oriental Land Company rules are. But it would totally be worth it. So if you've not checked out Big Man Beat, check it out, because it
would be cool. Incredible. But would people watch it? Is my
yes,
question.
They would.
Listen,
watch
but
it.
here's let me argue against this because I feel like the reason, while I'm not the biggest fan of Rogers, I totally understand why people love it and obsess over it. Like you were saying, Itzy, it is silly, stupid fun. Like, we are in the memification of culture, so I get why this is something that would bring the crowds out. Like, it's something so ridiculous that people would just want to see. I don't know if people are really down for the big band, which is cool, and I would watch.
Yes.
But I don't know.
I
if
think
people
we
would
have
be
to
down
understand. Also, I am the person whose favorite Star Wars character is Jar Jar Binks, so I'm probably not the best judge of
anything.
Taste.
But I think you embody like what is considered cool right now, like what's considered funny, or like what's a part of pop culture is those weird, silly things. Like, that's what's popular. Like, people don't really care for perfection anymore. They want something just kind of dumb and just fun.
Let me just say that,
so go to Fun Spot then.
No. Here's the thing.
And support Trump? No, thank you.
Hollywood Studios has a perfect example of something that's really dumb, but it gets people visiting it, is the Potato Land photo op.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I love that.
Oh,
that
yes.
is so
lost
dumb.
my mind.
It is so silly. But tell me I did not sit there for half an hour just staring at that potato on a stool, watching everybody just walk by and like everybody doing the little goofy Potato Land.
Yeah.
Like, it is so
like, we're very
silly.
simple creatures.
Yeah.
Listen,
Having
and
watched that with my kid, and like that was
so
our
cool.
favorite, and then getting to see it was like
I think
more
it's
of
everyone's favorite. It's like a classic at this point.
Yeah.
It's so
It's
good.
so
and I love
good.
those, but it's
And
so
I
good.
cannot wait for Rogers the Musical to hit that point of like, oh, it's the thing from that thing.
Yeah.
I know that.
Again, I'm okay with it as a limited thing. As long as the thing that always happens with Disney is it's like we're gonna have this for 6 months and then it's like 3 years
It's
later
gonna
and they're
play
like,
itself
we
out.
don't know. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know,
They
they're
need
like,
to
I don't know,
end
we're in
it.
the middle of the Kang dynasty still. I don't know, like, right?
I mean,
And
are you
listen,
complaining about Kang Dynasty?
I
'Cause
was
I'm
We'll
just
talk
not
about it.
say-
We'll talk
about
about
Kang
it.
I'm not
Dynasty.
complaining about
We'll talk
Kang
about
at
it. We'll talk about it.
all.
We'll talk
No,
about
no.
it.
Okay. No.
We got Ant-Man to talk about too. God, we got lots of stuff. Which is good, but we got to continue on. So the Rogers musical, some people are happy, some people are not. Itzy, people are also very happy about some Disney 100 merch that's coming out, and you've got 3 little collections that have hit the shelves or are about to hit the shelves. Tell us about them, please.
All right, so the first 100 collection comes from a little character who has been having its big moment lately. Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is one of the newest Disney 100 collections. That hit Shop Disney and it hit some of the Disney parks, which is big news. It came with some a lamp with the Oswald ears, an Oswald headband, an Oswald. What are those called? The ear hats?
Yeah.
The ear hats. It's been a lot of clothing. I've noticed, and I was just at Walt Disney World last week. A lot of the collection is not available online, but it is available in parks. There's some items that I did not see online that I did see on the parks. I don't know if it was sold out or anything like that, but Oswald and what's his cat friend's name?
Is it
Hortensia?
Hortensia? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they probably did that on purpose, though, to make people go to the parks if they want those items.
But
And
the
it's
Oswald
also-
merch is so cute. It's like
It is so
some of the
cute.
best merch they've come out with.
It is really
Yeah.
cute.
That Oswald ear button-up shirt is so
yeah,
good.
the work shirt. And it comes with
Mhm.
shorts. There's a pair of like
Yes.
cute
Oh
little
my
shorts.
god, I love
It's a
that.
cute set. Yeah.
I don't wear
And if-
Disney merch, but that's cute.
Yeah.
My one only complaint is that everything is so expensive, as is the huge for, Disney merch.
They have a $60 diffuser.
What?
Yes.
A diffuser?
It's a
And-
car, and the steam comes out of the little exhaust for
Wait,
the.
that's kind of cute. I'm
diffuser.
not
It's
gonna
super
lie.
cute, but it's $60.
It's all really cute. And Oswald has been really having his moment, which makes me wonder, like, what are his plans in the Disney company? Because he's been around a lot. Like, even he got his own Givenchy line. Like,
Which was good. It was a good line.
it was a good one, but why is Oswald on a Givenchy shirt?
I mean,
Well-
he's basically the mascot for Disney 100, isn't he? I mean, I know Mickey
think
kind
so.
of is, but I think when they're really going, they're like, okay, the start of it is this, and so because you wouldn't get
Well-
a line like this without this, I don't think.
Isn't the plan to release because Oswald was one of the first characters during the 20s, so like he had his little moment during that decade, and
Right.
they're gonna start releasing for every decade maybe another kind of obscure character
Right.
who kind of maybe had a feature during that time as well.
Well, sorry,
I
you bring
feel
up a
like-
good point because we have a 20s era collection
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out. Itzy's going to tell
So
us a
it
little
kind
bit
of
about
goes
that.
Yeah.
it coincides the timing with it. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I bought one of the shirts when I was over at Disney Springs last week. And I do have to say, I'm very confused by Disney sizing because sometimes it is very small and sometimes it is very big. And there have been times I bought a fitted t-shirt, and with fitted t-shirts, I always size up because they're small. But I bought an extra large and now it fits me like a nightgown. So if you are going to buy the Oswald collection, see if you can try it on in store because the sizes are all over the place.
They
and
really
even
are,
the
man.
sizes in between each other look drastically different. Because when I
Completely
saw that
different,
shirt in
yes.
person, I thought it was like a kid's shirt. for the really really small sizes. And then like I was just like, I'm not even gonna bother looking for like a bigger size because I didn't think that it looked that different. So it's not great.
Okay, so we mentioned, of course, the Disney 100. They're doing the Eras collection. Oswald's coming in, so we do have a 1920s collection as well, featuring a less. We will call this a very well-known version of a character, which is Steamboat Willie. Tell us a little bit about that, Itzy.
Yeah, so the Steamboat Willie 1920s collection is coming out, and as we know, there's gonna come out with decades of merch collections. This time around, we get a Magic Band Plus, which looks really cute. We get plush, some Steamboat Willie ears, and I believe it is also a Loungefly, a pin, and a playset. If I'm not
and the playset's adorable.
Ooh, I'm trying to find this playset. I'm dying to see it. Oh, it's the bow.
I want the ears.
Yes.
Is this in store? Are they also gonna have it in the parks?
Most of them, I believe, in parks.
Yeah, okay. I've been seeing it in the parks. My only issue with the ears, and it is a trend I'm seeing lately with Disney and the ears, is that when they are like fabric stitched ears, they're always super wonky. Like they never look like perfect circles.
Yeah.
And
like even the picture they have up,
it's super wonky.
The rope looks really bad. It's not symmetrical at all.
But that Loungefly is so cute. Every time I say I am done with Loungeflies, they come back, and apparently it's like a film reel up in the front. I've heard that.
Oh yeah, it does, girl. Somebody grabbed it for me tomorrow. I shouldn't have spent that money, but it's fine.
But wait, can we have a moment for the ad, because I am seeing a beautiful black girl with braids, like Disney. Shout out to y'all, we love that. They've been getting really good with their their models and stuff.
Their models have been very good and very diverse, not just in race, but also like in disability. I've noticed that too.
Yes,
The I guess advertisement has gotten the inclusion key, and nobody else.
Well, that's where they spend most of their time anyway. Disney's.
Oh no, just wait till Disney pops up, and then they'll scoot it on in there somewhere. Like, oh no, wait, look over here. Inclusion.
And can I say,
it's also very easy. Like, it doesn't cost more to hire a black model than know.
That is true, but they should act like they're invisible. I don't know where they don't just be popping up all of a sudden.
I do love these plushes though.
They're very really cute, and they come in a
good collection.
Nathan, can you tell Anthony to let me buy some? He told me I can't buy anymore.
You bought the Loungefly. They're like these are $45,
it's Black History Month. Like, let her buy what she needs to buy.
Well, I have no say.
I have a plush mountain, so he's like no more because all they do is sit in the corner.
Speaking of,
Itzy's now doing the visuals for our podcast, but yeah, she's covered in plushes. It's basically a 90s Disney store.
Is that your bed?
This is my bed.
What do you do with them at night? Her bed is literally filled to the brim with stacks of different plush. There's two Winnie the Poohs.
I gotta tell you, I am so type A that they all have their own position at night and they sleep on the edge.
My jaw is.
That's how my bed used to look.
Oh
and then
my God.
Anthony moved in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Valid.
Oh no.
Speaking of like the plush and the merch, I know we have all gone on a tangent about how Magic Band Plus is such a scam and it's awful, but their designs are so adorable.
Mm-hmm.
They're good.
I mean,
like, I'm gonna forget it every time.
You like the design, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say, it was my first time using Magic Bland.
Sometimes they're Magic Blands. Yeah.
It was my first time using it at the parks, and I felt like just a small child every time it would light up or I felt it vibrate. I would look at it like a moth, be like, "Oh my God, pretty light."
Girl, at least yours was charged. Mine's always dead.
Yours always is dead?
Mine's either dead or I forgot it. So like that's how it always is.
Well, did you do bounty hunters or anything with it, Itzy, when you were at studios?
No, I didn't have time to do bounty hunters. I really wanted to. Listen, yes. Accidentally, might I add. Yeah. But I started the game, but there was a horde of children.
Mm-hmm.
A gaggle of teens even by where you start off, and when I see that many teens in one area, I get really frightened. So I just walked away.
Yeah, I gotta
never
walk
came
away.
back.
They're scary.
Don't mess with you.
Teenagers are so scary.
Phantasmic, when it would light up every time like the water would splash, was really cool.
That's
cool.
During Harmonious, it was really cool because the lights matched up with the barges. Which RIP. Nice. RIP to the barges.
I mean,
we won't
rest
miss
in
them.
pieces. I say.
I will miss
barges.
them.
Yeah, you're the one.
I didn't have an issue.
You're a barges stan? Now we're gonna have to tussle over the barges.
We're going
to tussle.
I didn't find myself looking out into the lagoon that often, so I forget they were there.
See, thank you. Who was paying attention to them damn things during the day? Like, it wasn't bothering nobody.
Why are you staring into the water when there is architecture on the other side?
Because I want to take a picture of the Epcot ball reflecting on the surface of the water.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about other mechanical problems.
Oh my god.
80% of the reason to go to Disney is that.
For the pictures.
I don't know about 80%. I'll give it 1.3. Like,
no, for me, it's not even about the picture. It's about the site. Like, that is just like distilled dopamine for me, that site.
You want to talk about distilled dopamine that should not have been brought back? There is a new, I'm using this term lightly because I don't want Dave to come after me, quote unquote hologram at the new Disney 100 exhibition of the one and only Walt Disney.
Yes. As he texted us, Dave says an actual hologram is recorded and projected by a laser. These are flat media illusions made to look dimensional by transparent screens and solid backdrops. Basically, think of the ballroom scene in Haunted Mansion Pepper's Ghost. So that's what this is for sure.
It's like Rey in Rise of the Resistance, right?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm very glad somebody said it because, there were talks about the hologram. For people who don't know, there is a Disney 100 exhibition at the Franklin Institute right now in Philadelphia. Plans are for it to start touring. Which I found out recently that the next stop is Chicago, so that's really fun.
Oh, cool.
You guys should all come and visit me in Chicago, and we can go stare at the Disney hologram.
That'd be awesome.
Well, I'll change my ticket then. I gotta go next month.
It's like the first thing I'm doing when I move. Basically, I gotta make that happen.
How do you guys feel about the projection? Like, what are your thoughts?
I don't personally, and I tweeted about it, and I got a bit of mixed reviews. My own personal, I don't like seeing holograms, or I guess in this case a projection of deceased people.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel a little strange.
Pretty much my same sentiments.
Like, yeah,
but this one is also weird because they took off the mic reverb that we usually hear in Walt Disney's voice, so he sounds weird. And I said that. I said, "Are we sure that's Walt Disney's voice coming through?" And people are like, "Yes, we're just not used to hearing it."
Well, same with color.
Clear.
I mean, we don't really. That's a pretty, like, we're used to it. I call it blue sweater Walt. Like, it's a slightly wonderful world of color Walt. This is a slightly younger, no gray hair Walt, and he's in color
that too.
And it's a little strange. Yeah.
And I don't know the exact logistics of it, but is it he never actually said like some of the stuff that
No, that's
saying,
all
right?
AI
Like,
generated. Same with they did with Luke Skywalker. That same like redone AI, which now is like everywhere because you can go on Twitter and watch fake Joe Rogan clips talking about going to the beach from old, which is very funny, but also massively terrifying that the stuff is just now out and about.
That is also a thing that, like, besides the whole deceased person hologram up in front of us again, the idea of the fact that they're just making him say things now, it sends a shiver down my spine.
Well, they've been doing that forever. Half of those quotes are not even him. Like, they're really... but just hearing them, like, just hearing that stuff just feels very weird. I don't know.
It's very dystopian to me.
I think he would be for it because I don't think that he shied away from dystopian shit. But he would
no.
He would go for it.
He's just fucking Andrew Ryan from BioShock. I mean, the dude would have loved it.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the Walt fans that I don't want them to go out there worshiping him like this. Like, this is just
we're way beyond. We're way beyond
that ship has
girl.
sailed.
Like,
welcome to the fandom.
But this is giving them something that's semi-physical, I guess, for them to go and see.
I mean, it's just a part of an intro. It's just a pre-show. It's really not like we could make a lot of stink about it, but in the end, like,
it's just a pre-show.
Yeah,
it's just weird. It's a weird pre-show.
Well, let me ask you this, Itzy. I'm curious because you mentioned your distaste for deceased, like embodiments. That's a way of putting it. What do we think about Great Moments, Mr. Lincoln? Do we have issues with animatronics of dead people? Hate it. Okay, at least you're consistent. That's interesting.
I don't.
I mean,
I've said it.
You don't see me going in there.
I don't like.
He's a great emancipator, Victoria. You should love him, don't you know? Okay.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about race. He's just creepy.
As a person from Illinois, I get the right to say this. I've had enough of Abraham Lincoln. I've had enough of Abraham Lincoln.
He didn't do shit.
Because even then, even as a child, there is a museum, the Abraham Lincoln Museum, where they have an Abraham Lincoln hologram and like a whole show of Abraham Lincoln coming back and telling us the story of his life. It's just weird to me. I don't like the Hall of Presidents. I don't like
Hall of
why are we making them move? Why are we making them move? Keep them dead.
Because that's what Walt wanted, girl. He wanted that. He wants to be a hologram.
So, okay.
We unfroze his head and created the hologram.
Okay, Itzy, what if we find out that the guy from Carousel of Progress is real? He was like a real person. Is there a problem? Can you retroactively?
I'm going to be so honest. I thought the way you were going to go with that is we found out he's a real person and he's just been weekending at Bernie's this entire time.
Oh, no, he's not like a corpse. It's not just a corpse being animated. There'd have to be 4 corpses to make that work because there's plenty of scenes. But anyway, we're way off topic on this one. Yeah, so there's a hologram of Walt, and he looks like a used car salesman. So
yeah, I mean, besides that, the exhibition looks really, really cool, and I'm very, very excited for it to come to Chicago so I can be a little weasel and look at all of the history.
Do it.
Well, anyway, we're gonna move on from that. We're gonna go into some more Disney company news now. Sarah, we've got a couple things going on. We have and I put these weird connections together when it comes to the Peltz situation. So if you've not had a chance to read all that, I'm happy to talk about the Nelson Peltz connections that I have made.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Oh no, trust.
I caught him when I was researching.
Okay, good.
I followed the little marriage from last.
Oh, good. We'll talk about all that. Let's start with the employees signing their petition. People don't want to go back to a 4-day work week in the office, do they?
They don't. So 2,300 Disney employees signed a petition against returning to the office 4 days a week. And CEO Bob Iger essentially does not agree with them. He thinks that they should, they're currently working in a hybrid fashion, but he wants them to be there Monday through Thursday, beginning March 1st. And a lot of the employees are really upset. They just don't see the value in it. He said in an email that working together more in person will benefit the company's creativity, culture, and the employees' careers. Now, this is something that we have all expected. A lot of companies are starting to ask their employees to return back to the office. Those offices are not going to stay empty forever. That lease is running up. They want people in the office. So this petition argues that returning to the office is, quote, likely to have unintended consequences that cause long-term harm to the company because it will lead to forced resignations among some of the most hard-to-replace talent and vulnerable communities. Now, a lot of these people have either moved further away from the offices or they just don't want to move. They just don't want to go back to work. Like, that's literally it. So, yeah, that's kind of the gist of that. As someone who works from home, I would hate to go back to the office. So I totally understand this.
From a parent's perspective, summer camp.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It
Daycare.
is like if you have kids in school, you don't have to worry so much about whether, you know, you work from home or whatever. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. My cat has her claw stuck in me right now.
Pringles cans,
all
cats.
the pets have been
You're dealing with all the things.
It's
like-
been a witching hour, I guess. But like I'm pivoting from working from home to going to hybrid, and because of that, it's an enormous expense that I'm not going to be home during the summer when my kid is out of school. And so I have to pay for him to go somewhere. And that's like $350 per week.
Ugh.
That's an enormous expense associated with coming to work. Like like if a lot of people can't afford that.
Yeah.
So I used to work at a daycare, and the prices was absolutely insane. And there is government assistance for daycare, but if you make over a certain amount, that assistance goes away and you have to pay the full price. And it is an extreme amount of money for daycares.
It's insane how expensive
summer
it
camps.
is.
Yeah.
The thing that I have to think about is like daycare is generally for younger children who require a lot of attention. And so from the business perspective, I don't want my employees parenting small children while they're trying to work. Like having been a parent of a small child, there's no way in hell I could have been productive with my 2.5-year-old roaming the house. Yeah. It's not happening. Like you're going to be paying for daycare. But if you have a 10-year-old, like I have a 10-year-old, that kid can just entertain himself while you work. Mm-hmm. And so it becomes different because you expect to pay for daycare when you have a young kid.
Right.
And then when you get older, like they get older.
Yeah.
You don't expect to spend $6,000.
Which is crazy, especially if you have multiple kids. But I think what's really tough about this particular situation is for some of these jobs, they are the creative jobs that you need to be in office for to collaborate. There is, like I said, I am all for working from home. There is still like room to have the conversation that there is a lot of things that are missed, a lot of collaboration, a lot of relationship building, a lot of things that happen in the office that you do not get when you're working from home.
Does that have to be 4 days a week though? Or can you get that on a hybrid schedule?
And that's the thing. You can compromise.
Yeah.
I am in a profession where working from home was so detrimental. Like teaching from home was not ideal, which is, I can also understand the Disney employees, like, you know, they bounce ideas off of each other, which, you know, probably could also be done in a Zoom meeting, but the way that like Disney works and just entertainment fields in general is, it's a lot of moving parts, it's a lot of displays, it's a lot of, you know, storyboarding and things of that sort.
It's a lot of just being around. It's about, a lot of ideas come when you're just sitting on someone's couch in their office and you're thinking through stuff, which you don't do on Zoom. And I don't know, billion-dollar Disney company, why don't you just have daycare at your friggin' company? Like, it's not hard. Just do it.
Right. They're like, here you go. Here's 4 tickets for the year. Go use them, but no daycare. Like, we won't give you nothing like that.
I mean, but you also got to deal with.
I was going to say, there are a lot of jobs out there in this sort of field that pay you, they give you a stipend for your transportation, for your gas, if you have to Uber, things of that sort. Like, why not offer that if those are the things standing in the way of people wanting to come into the office?
Yeah.
But they ain't paying them.
Right. I mean, commuting, it's California too. The commuting can be kind of a bitch. So
it is a bitch. But I just the worry, which was kind of highlighted in this petition, is that similar to the move of Imagineering, they will be losing a lot of really good talent because a lot of people understand their worth and they're like, okay, well, if you're not gonna give me what I want here, I can go to a Universal or to a Knott's or wherever the hell they go and do maybe good work, like maybe better work over there. So it's unfortunate that Disney continues to not understand its employees and what they need to be successful, and it is what it is.
Yeah. Well, let's conclude our Disney Company discussion with talking about, and probably for the last time ever, Nelson frickin' Peltz.
What a journey that was.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's finish up this journey. What's going on with this, Sarah?
Now this is some weird shit. So Nelson Peltz, it is weird shit. Like
It is like it's crazy.
Yeah, this kind of really entered the, I guess, Disney's zeitgeist and like the Disney Twitter like crazy for a couple of days, and then the whole thing disappeared, and then all of a sudden, he's called off his proxy war. He's not doing it anymore. He's backed off, which I am not entirely sure what his full reasoning is. It just seems like he said that they believe that they can help Disney, but then that was it.
Well, didn't it help stocks? Doesn't he have stock?
Yes.
Like,
he has so
Yeah,
much
he
stock in Disney.
Yeah.
So what he did was he bought up a ton of it when that earnings call happened, and then he basically demanded that they put him on the board, and that's why all this happened.
right. And so the stock went up because of this fight.
Yeah.
Because people thought maybe it would happen, and then he probably sold some of it.
Oh,
Like,
he
he
totally
made
did.
money. That's what he did.
Did you guys also get, if you are on Twitter, promoted tweets
Oh, sure.
of the website? I had to block the
the
page because it was just consistent. Every promoted tweet I was getting was, "Aren't you tired of Disney taking the magic away?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's but offered no facts, offered no vision, nothing. It
They
was
were
just
definitely
like a blanket
operating.
statement.
Yeah,
They
they were
just wanted to bring the dividends back. That's really all it was.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, they were definitely operating off of like outrage. They understood that a lot of people were mad. A lot of the fans were mad about what's been happening lately, and they thought that they had a leg up. But I just think it's strange that he didn't offer a proper explanation for why he called off the proxy war. But it is what it is. It's over. It was a little blip.
Oh, best believe my ass will find out.
Yes, Victoria will find out.
But I want to drag this guy a little bit more. So I found these weird
Yeah.
connections connected not only to it weirdly comes back to someone we've been talking about on this podcast a lot too, which is very, very weird. So Sarah, lay out these weird ass connections with Nelson Peltz.
And okay, so they kind of all go towards his daughter. So his daughter Nicola, that's how you
Probably
pronounce her name,
Nicola, right?
Nicola?
Nicola, I believe.
Nicola?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
okay.
Nicola sounds like a drink.
Well, I don't know.
shit.
These rich people names, they be coming up with some
Yeah, who
weird
knows?
shit.
Probably.
So Nicola Peltz, he got his daughter a part in the Last Airbender movie, the M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, she was
Man,
Katara.
fuck
She was
that
Katara.
movie.
Yeah.
And
Fuck
look
that
at how
movie.
karma came back. Look
Look
at how
Look at how karma
to
came
play.
back.
And you know what's crazy? I didn't even know it was her. She looks so different now.
Yeah.
And you know what's wild?
What?
That movie, I also just realized that the person who plays Sokka is Jasper in Twilight.
From Twilight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's white.
What?
Like, and you have to realize
on.
that
Palest
she,
people.
yeah, she was hired because of Peltz,
Mhm.
and the producers owed him a favor, and then they had to cast her brother based on her skin type. So the movie is just completely whitewashed for the most part.
But now we know why.
And
Look,
and
I
this
could
is
do
why.
a whole dissertation on how bad this fucking movie is.
Yes, but continue. Nicola
Yes.
then married who of all people?
David Beckham's oldest son, Brooklyn Beckham, literally mediocrity at his finest. This man swears that he is the best photographer in the entire world. I literally do not understand it. If you look at his photography page, it is ridiculous. Like, I literally could have taken those pictures, and he swears that he went to NYU. But that was like a whole other tangent of beef.
did he
I'm
go
sorry.
to NYU?
He went to NYU, and like his whole thing was like, "Ooh, I am Brooklyn, and I live in New York, and my name is Brooklyn, and I take
Oh, so
pictures."
he's Dan from
Like,
Gossip Girl. Got it.
Like, it was gross.
I was thinking about it, and I said, where have I heard the last name Peltz before? Where have I heard this last name? I don't know anything about the business side of Disney. And now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, Nicola Peltz.
Yeah,
That's
but
who
mind you,
married
she looked
Brooklyn Beckham.
She looked gorgeous. She looked gorgeous at the wedding. Like, we're not gonna. That wedding was beautiful. But speaking of the wedding, he ended up what's his name? Nelson Peltz. He fired the wedding planners and sued them for $159,000.
His deposit.
That's his deposit.
This bitch needs
That was a
$160,000 back.
That was the deposit,
Yep.
bitch. You know that wedding was expensive.
Yeah,
it was
but-
Just for the
expensive.
planners.
But that is a blink in an eye for this guy. He's a billionaire. Like,
I know.
That's what I was
Like,
gonna say.
there's
She
no-
looks beautiful and gorgeous because she has the money to do so.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. But it gets weirder. This whole wedding was, I didn't mind you, I followed this wedding last year and I didn't know none of this was happening. So the wedding planners, they ended up like suing him. So they countersued and they brought texts. They literally brought receipts from Nicola. And so they were basically saying, or no, let me stop calling her Nicola. Nicola. Nicola.
I'm
So
gonna
there were
Google this.
there were receipts that said that Ron DeSantis was no longer on the guest list.
No,
So-
not just that. She was like, do not put this man on the guest list.
Yeah, like she said, no. Like,
Yeah.
very important
What,
that
beef?
those. Yeah, so she said it's very important that those certain politicians are not, capital N-O-T, on the list. So that's what she said.
Do
February
they have
22nd.
beef?
2022.
Because I don't want to sit here and be like, they have different political opinions. Because let's be real. Rich, young teens in this state and age,
Yeah.
you expect me to believe they don't got some weird political beliefs?
I think
Oh,
they just
Dig
didn't want
yourself up from your bootstraps?
I think they
I'm
just don't want the
bootstrappers.
drama. Is
Yeah.
my guess.
I mean, this was like the
I mean,
wedding
the
of
drama
the year.
is her filmography. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
don't
the
you like?
She was in
She already got the
Transformers.
drama.
That tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
No, yeah, like she, you know,
She got the
But the
drama
wedding
when
was
she was in
huge.
Avatar.
yeah.
And then
But
had
if
the
she
nerve
can
to be in
survive that-
Transformers. Like,
she, you know,
If-
nepotism baby. Love
Yeah,
that for
total
her, I
nepo
guess,
baby.
you know.
you're right.
But she's had an
Two nepo
interesting
babies.
year, and he's also had an interesting year. So shout out
I
to
just
them.
think it's interesting that this is total confirmation that Peltz has a relationship with Ron DeSantis,
Oh,
who's
yeah.
also been
Yeah.
shitting on Disney.
I'm just,
Mhm.
it tracks. Like it's all connecting.
It
the dots are
tracks.
connecting.
Yeah, there's no
So-
conspiracy here.
It's
Not
a
at
small world
all.
after all, guys.
Yeah,
Oh, I will find it.
yeah.
But
and
those
on
are-
that note, eat the rich,
Yeah.
nom 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 nom.
Yes.
You know.
Period.
Speaking of the rich, I don't know how to transition this. Yeah, let's speaking of the fancy rich people, Victoria.
No.
I believe you into a fancy rich people thing recently.
Oh, she did.
And sort of.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, downplay it.
It really,
I set you up. And
it
you
really
just-
wasn't.
We love a humble queen, you guys. Victoria, you better not be humble about this.
I know.
You better tell
Victoria,
them.
get it together.
Well, I mean, it wasn't
If
like
you
a
don't-
red carpet thing. So,
It
so
is
pretty
still
much
cool.
I got invited to a Straw Hat Goofy movie screening. It was like a bunch of influencers essentially just watching Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It was really chill. Like they fed us and whatnot.
That's cool.
It was
Did you have
nice.
fun?
I enjoyed the
You just like playing it down. I'm serving it up here.
I know,
Oh, well-
Victoria.
Girl, you were
Well, I
flew out to
had
LA to
fun.
watch a premiere. Like, come on.
So well,
If you don't
it was
hype
also
yourself up
sponsored
right
by
now.
IHOP. I'm a
Yes.
slut for IHOP,
Hell
so I was very
yes.
happy about that.
Hell yes.
There were no pancakes, but
Hell
I'm
no.
gonna let that slide.
Okay.
But
Not even tiny
But yes,
little
there was-
pancakes for the movie.
no,
Oh,
That's so weird that they wouldn't have
Oh,
no
yeah.
pancakes. Yes.
but they did have like a bunch of box lunch people there. They were doing some trivia giveaways. There
Cool.
were some people dressed up in costumes and cosplay. It was really chill, and Straw Hat Goofy was nice. He's pretty much very high spirited. If you know him from his TikTok, he's pretty much the same like that in person.
oh, that's cool.
But yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed myself. We got cookies and we got swag bags, and it was a good time.
You
The
fancy.
end.
You
Yay.
fancy. So what'd you think of the movie?
The first time I didn't like it. The second time I liked it.
Interesting. Interesting.
So, but
Wait, so did everybody see the movie here?
I have seen it.
I did.
everyone
Okay.
seen it?
You know I
Janine?
haven't seen
No,
it.
Janine's
I
not
was-
seen it.
it's like Janine.
What
We
is
didn't
a
even-
movie
without
at this
giving
point?
anything away,
I'm never gonna see
It
it.
def-
I have no
it's
time.
good-
It is
oh, well
so
then-
far down on the list of shit I want to
Things
see.
You're not missing much, if I'm being honest with you.
I was
You're
just
not
gonna say
missing
it
much.
sets up it sets up everything nicely. Like but I will say at this point, if you haven't gotten into anything Marvel, you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is it's a two-part TV series that you paid theater prices to go see. Like, it's a 2-part episode is what this thing is. I mean, that's what most of these movies are now.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if you don't have to see all of the other Marvel movies, you just have to watch the Ant-Man ones and you can get a pretty okay understanding.
Yeah,
Fuck that. You don't even need to see the Ant-Man ones. You just need to watch Loki for real.
Well, not even Loki, because they kind of give a little bit of setup for Kang. Like, even in this movie, I'm kind of confused about like what the next step is. But I don't know. I went with a friend who hasn't is not really into all of it, and they got the gist of it.
I mean, if anything, just watch a quick YouTube video. Like, I got some recommendations. It'll catch you up in 20 minutes max.
Or go see Cocaine Bear instead, because that seems more fun. Just go see.
I don't know. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Again, I am not the connoisseur of taste, but my one issue with a lot of the complaints about this movie is that people were like, it's not serious at all, it's just goofy. And I have to sit here and be like, well,
it's Paul Rudd.
Seen the other
that's what the Ant-Man movies are. That's what they are. They're goofy.
Even in the serious moments, like, I feel like it did a good job of not being too serious. My one problem with Marvel is that sometimes it takes itself a little too seriously to the point where I'm like, you gotta know your place, Marvel. You're Oscar baiting and you're not going to get the Oscar. Like, we're not every Marvel movie has to be Black Panther level.
Right. I mean, I think the thing with this one too is like, it's the first Ant-Man movie that has, I guess I would say, like a kind of world-ish stakes, because they're in the quantum realm, right? Like, so the other two are pretty low stakes, and this is pretty big stakes. Guardians, I think, is the only one that's really gotten that tone right of being really funny and then making the stakes feel like big enough. And I think it does struggle a little bit to keep that balance a little. I would say my issue with Kang in general, or my issue with the movie in general, is there are several scenes that you really don't need at all, and they're sort of filler. There's a cameo that you could cut out of that movie and you would not know the difference. And it's a shame, because I like that actor a lot and I wish they had more to do.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. Very true.
But like,
I mean,
I mean,
I'm just there to hee hee ha ha.
Sure, I'm
just gonna say it right now. No one is gonna slander Kang while I'm here.
Well, exactly. Okay.
I'm
Jonathan Majors.
Okay, well, let's talk about Kang.
Simple woman.
Yeah, you're all lusting after Kang.
You just had to show me his arm.
Lusting.
If you know this podcast, you know we gotta lust after somebody.
These villains have been spitting facts lately. Killmonger wasn't wrong. What I'm saying. Wanda wasn't wrong, and Kang isn't wrong.
You can't make the villain so fucking hot, and then not expect me to just like be sitting there listening. Like, I'm gonna listen. I'm sad. I'm
gonna hear him out. He might be spitting facts.
Yes. You want me to see people like Namor and Kang and not expect me to get a little like hot underneath my shirt? Like, come on now,
That's
Nathan.
who we came to see. Like, I'm sorry.
You're gonna give me. You are going to give me a movie with Paul Rudd and Jonathan Majors in it and expect me not to have a good time.
Yeah, the problem is they don't kiss. Kiss.
I will say, I think Jonathan Majors forgot what movie he was in at one point, because it was looking like Creed 3 for a second.
Right.
Okay. Well, what? Yeah, I'm. Creed
what I will
gonna
say,
you guys are
there
gonna
was
lose
one. There was one character in this movie that one of my coworkers saw this movie before me, and he goes, "I know that there's one character that you are really gonna like because he's such a Jar Jar Binks-esque character."
Oh my gosh!
And it only took 2 seconds of that character talking for me to be like, I found my dude. I
know who it is. It's the jelly dude. Yeah.
It's the jelly dude. Yeah. Voiced by I can't remember his name. He played Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad, and he was in the other.
That was him.
Yeah, and he's in the other 2 Ant-Man movies as the Russian hacker guy.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
oh, right, you're right.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. It's really good.
I'm in the minority, but I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Oh, that's what I mean.
I said,
yeah, it's
I
fine.
didn't hate it.
Yeah.
My
It did what it was supposed to do.
My Letterboxd review was literally just, oh my god, I love Horton Hears a Who.
I mean, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
It was a good movie. It wasn't like, okay, it's not like I'm gonna go watch it again and I'm not gonna go sit down. Like, I'm not gonna do
say
that.
it was a good movie and then kind of. Well, I guess you
But hold
can,
on,
because
hold
I don't
on.
want to watch Schindler's List every day, and I'm
right.
and it's
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but when it comes to this one, like you said, like the stakes were high, but it didn't feel like the stakes were very high.
I guess my issue is I was enamored by Kang in Loki. I like that variant a lot.
Yeah.
And this guy just felt like a super serious dude. And he's like, they're like, well, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to conquer. Well, why? Because I conquer. And I'm like,
And
okay.
that's the thing. I was really confused about Kang. Like, I understand that there's still supposed to be this mystery surrounding him, and we're gonna get bits and pieces of him as these movies, you know, come on. But like, it's getting kind of frustrating because I'm like, well, why? Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, I don't understand this.
That has been my issue with Marvel movies lately, is that they don't feel like complete movies anymore. They feel like, now you gotta wait for the next one, or now you gotta wait for the next Disney Plus series to wrap it up a bit. Because that was also my problem with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I really, really loved. It just felt like they were like, well, now you gotta wait for the next.
Yeah, by the end.
Yeah.
The
like,
third
not
act
everyone needs a movie. Like, I'm gonna just put it that way. Not every superhero needs its own movie, and I don't think we need 50. We don't need 50 movies of them. Like, I just don't think that that's necessary. They don't work all the time.
Right.
This one could have definitely been skipped if it wasn't for the fact that it mattered to the story, and that's what sucks about this current Marvel era that we're in.
Yeah.
And I just hated that it mattered. Like, not I didn't
That's
hate,
what I'm saying.
Like, I didn't hate that it exists. I just hate that
you need to watch it.
So, well, the thing about this era is that it's making you go back and watch the Marvel movies that you thought you didn't have to watch. Like, you had to go back and watch Doctor Strange, and I know a lot of people skip Doctor Strange. You had to go back and watch Ant-Man and Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
I am a Doctor Strange believer and truther. I will always stand up for my man, Stephen Strange.
Man, thank God for YouTube. They give me 20 minutes and I'm all caught up.
I watched the two previous movies before this one.
I like both Ant-Man movies more than I like this one. Weirdly.
I
Honestly,
think
same.
the reason I like this movie so much is because, and it's just me and the way I watch movies, I am tired of every piece of media being about, let's talk about your generational trauma for
that's true.
Hour and a half.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit much now.
I can see that.
I sometimes need a hee hee ha ha, let's point at this little jelly dude and laugh type of movie, and I think this one really did it for me.
But what happened to the jelly dude? Like, we don't know nothing about still we know nothing about the quantum realm. Why are there humans there?
I can't. I don't know anything. There's a warrior like lady who I couldn't tell what her name was. I have no idea. I have no idea her name. I have no idea.
Damn, we don't know her name.
We don't.
No.
Again,
these characters are like,
well, you know what? Another issue is
incomplete.
It kind of makes you go to watch the comics too, because if you want to get more in-depth information, you are gonna have to go look at comic book history, which isn't a bad thing, but not a lot of people got time for that.
That's too much. Exactly. Like, I don't. I shouldn't have to do homework before a movie. That's how I feel.
It's just there's too many characters. There's too much going on. There's weirdly too much going on and not enough going on all at the same time. And for this
being a quantum movie, it didn't feel very quantum-y to me. Like, I still know nothing about the quantum realm personally.
I had a thought recently too, because we've had a lot of like standalone movies, like we've had the Ant-Mans, the Shang-Chi's, whatever Doctor Strange is doing on his side of the world.
Right.
How are they gonna come? Because with the Avengers, I easily saw like how they combined together. They had Nick Fury. We haven't seen Nick Fury at all.
I already know. I know your question.
Yeah,
and I'll send you a link because I know what's coming.
Because I know that we're getting like, what is it? The Thunderbolts? Thunderbirds? I don't know what it is.
Thunderbirds are good.
I know we're getting that. Thunderbirds. I know we're getting that, and I can see that amalgamation of superheroes. I am gonna be very curious to see Ant-Man fighting alongside Doctor Strange and Shang-Chi.
By the time we get there, I'm gonna forget all of these movies. I'm gonna forget all
here's
of these
what's
characters.
Do you want to know what's actually gonna happen? Like, do you
Sure.
want me to like? So pretty much, what's gonna happen is Kang is gonna send all these superheroes into what's called the battle world,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Not
all
on
just gonna fight it
Survivor.
out. So
Not
it's essentially
Avengers Survivor
WWE,
happening.
but with superheroes, and they're
Yeah.
gonna be on two different sides.
By choice? Like
Kind
they're
of
going
by
in there by
force.
choice?
Sort
Okay.
of.
Okay.
And at the
Depending on how the
end, they are
MCU
all
does it,
going
but that's
to
how
fall
all
in
these
love.
characters get. They're all gonna fall in love.
They're all gonna kiss in the
They're
arena.
all gonna
sounds
kiss.
Dumb.
It's an
I'm
orgy.
sorry.
Superhero
Let them
orgy.
kiss. Let them kiss.
It does sound kind of dumb, Janine. I'm gonna agree with you there. Like
That sounds dumb.
where are the stakes? Like again,
Yeah.
like I want them all to be fighting all 1,000 like Kang variants. That's what I
Yeah.
want. Like
Okay.
I want them to like go
I
look
mean,
for
that's
them.
essentially what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But just not Kang. Kang's gonna make them fight each other.
Yeah, and then they'll fight
It's
Kang.
just like reality
But
TV, guys.
before we move on, we need to talk for a minute about my favorite part about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is my freak boy MODOK, who I love very, very much, and he's perfect.
So gross. Like
He's absolutely perfect, and he's just the right amount of weird. And I don't want to see him go anywhere.
his
I
little
know he's-
ass.
I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil
Little
anything.
ass.
I mean, he's got that sweet little.
He's got a
It's
little-
literally one of the
so
greatest
it's like-
moments in the MCU history. Is his little booty. Like, just
I
show
don't
off
know.
that
I'm gonna be very
freak's
honest.
booty.
You know how that was one of the things that on Twitter people had a big problem with. They're like, why does he look like that? How else was he supposed to look
How
like?
else were
Let's
they
be
gonna make him look?
BFFR.
Yeah, that's how he
BFFR.
looked.
How was he supposed to look like? He
It's
looked-
giving
he's an
Mr.
egg.
Electric from Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Like that's what
And
it
that's
felt
exactly
like
what
to
he's
me.
supposed. That's
Mr.
exactly what he's
Electric
supposed to
is
look like.
MODOK. It's not the other way around,
Yeah.
people.
Really?
You freaking Gen Zers.
Yeah.
Like
Not a
not
Gen
knowing your
Zer.
shit.
Damn,
MODOK
not
been
the
around.
ageism. Yeah, it's okay.
MODOK has been around. And he's
And
always
MODOK
been a
is
little
supposed
freak.
To look.
And he's-
yeah,
and
MODOK
he
is
has
supposed
one-
to be a weird dude.
Yeah, and they do
Oh.
one interesting story for him. If you play the
Janine.
Avengers video game, I think Janine just looked
Yeah,
at
she
MODOK.
looked at she said, "Oh."
The thing about the Avengers video game is they have an actually really interesting kind of dark origin story for MODOK, and it works really well. And there were bits of me that kind of wanted to be like, all right, well, let's like, okay, that's the thing about Kang too is I thought MODOK had an actual emotional reason for being upset with Ant-Man. Like there was a legitimate thing going on, and Kang was just like, I don't know, I'm gonna conquer. So what I do, I'm a conqueror, and like that's fine. But I the MODOK thing I think is more interesting, and I kind of wish he had a little more screen time, and they kind of I don't know, gave him a little more emotion. I did like they play him for laughs, and he is for laughs. That's MODOK has never been a very serious character, and people that think that he wouldn't. I don't want to ruin any of the jokes because there's a really funny joke that MODOK says, and it's like it's top tier. So and yeah, so I love you, MODOK.
I didn't even know who he was.
The one promotional thing I wish they did is I wish Disney came out with a MODOK Snapchat or Instagram filter where you get to put your
That's
face.
smart.
in
Now
MODOK's
at least,
body.
yeah. I need my MODOK popcorn bucket. AMC, give me a MODOK popcorn bucket.
That would have been yes. Or the goo guy. You can get to a goo guy sipper.
Yeah.
You get to drink his goo.
As I said on Twitter, you should follow me because I'm very funny. No, but as I said on Twitter, I need myself a Turtle Talk with Crush, but it's a meetings with MODOK. I just need to talk to that little freak. And our friend Disney Dan was like, yeah, I want that job. And I was like, I want to hear Disney Dan voice MODOK to just groups of guests. That's exactly what I want. So
it would be pretty fun.
I do want that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that little
Saying
freak.
it out
I want
loud,
to
I
talk
think
about it.
But
I'm
let me just
realizing my favorite characters are just the little freaks. The
Yeah.
little weirdos.
Yeah, well, that's
but
why
that's
you're
okay.
on this.
They're great.
You love this podcast because you love all us little freaks.
We're all little freaks. Oh my god, the little freaks of Disney.
Yeah.
But I just one thing I'm gonna say, okay, and I will never watch a Marvel movie on opening night ever again.
Smart.
I will not do it.
No.
You Marvel stans are so fucking annoying. I am sorry, but like the guy
Tell
that
me
was
about it.
sitting next to me, like the entire movie, I did not need the ad libs. I did not need him to like literally tell me who was gonna show up and all the little cameos. It's just not. I'm sorry, but that like it irked my soul to like sit next to this person. Like it took
It
everything in me.
genuinely does depend on the theater you go to.
It really
Yes.
does.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I
It really
I felt,
does.
I wanted to turn to him multiple times and be like, shut the fuck up. But I understood that he was having a great time. And I didn't want to ruin this moment for him because I understood he really loved MODOK. I really felt like he was having a good time.
No.
But like, I just didn't want to be that asshole to him.
No, I had to do that once because Star Wars fans were also notorious for this during premieres.
True.
When I went to see the Rise of Skywalker, there was this one guy, every time Kylo Ren would appear on screen, screaming, clapping. I had to get up at one point and just like shout, "Shut up! We're watching a movie here."
And in the end, you had to watch Rise of Skywalker, so I'm sorry about that too.
I know.
Yeah, we won't.
I know.
We won't open that wound. Let's keep moving on because we're getting long, folks. Let's talk just really quickly about the Little Mermaid teaser trailer.
I just realized it's past midnight.
Yes, I know. That's why we gotta keep going.
I had homework I had to do after we were recording.
Yeah, we recorded this kind of late, folks. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing it's too late now. Teaser that we learned is Ursula. Like we got a first glimpse at Ursula and a little bit of Prince Eric.
The kiss the girl scene, which I am so sorry, Disney. You need to learn how to light your black people better.
You need to definitely. You need to learn how to light anything because that movie. I'm sorry,
it looks terrible. It looks muddy,
dry.
It looks like it's. I mean, I get it. It's in water, but woof. I've seen Aquaman. It's not that bad. You can do it. I've seen Black Panther. Disney. You can do water. I've seen it. So.
I'm just gonna wait for a full trailer.
Yeah,
and then make a conclusion because we only got a little.
I'm going to be seated
but the color
first row.
Yeah, I know.
Is it a design choice? They're like, oh, it's the ocean, but like we're gonna present it as dull and murky because she hates it and she wants to get out of it. Like
we don't know because it's the teaser trailer.
Yeah.
You're giving them too much hope.
It is the teaser, and they're probably still working on it. You know, Disney, last minute. If that Frozen 2 documentary showed us anything, they'll work on it till the day before the release.
Just manage expectations.
I did really like the shot of her with the pufferfish.
Yes.
I thought that was
so
shot
cute.
Beautifully, and I thought it was really cute. Regardless of how the Bailey sisters have been treating me in the fandom, I will be seated first row.
If she does not leave that man. Before
she does not leave that man, if her sister does not stop embarrassing her.
We can't do this right now. We can't do this right now. We can't because I'm so mad about it.
We need to have a separate pop culture podcast because this whole situation. Oh my god, the Bailey sisters, y'all gotta get it together.
Just
make
it's like a footnote
Beyonce
podcast.
Giselle Knowles look like a goddamn fool.
Making Blue Ivy look like a goddamn fool. Like she needs to get them together. Anyway.
But isn't it? It's interesting. Well, I guess it's not interesting, but I am so frustrated by the fact that we have not gotten a full trailer yet.
I don't know.
Because there was
they're waiting. I guarantee
there was rumors about it
until they announced something with that strike for the Disney World cast members.
You know what?
Will drop it.
They're sitting on it.
You're real.
They are.
You're so real for that.
Yeah.
Because they were gonna. There were rumors about it coming out in the Super Bowl, and I thought it was confirmed. And then Halle Bailey said, "No, but pretty soon." When is soon, ma'am?
And she's taking pictures.
The movie come out in May.
Yeah, that's how many months is that? Like 3. So 2 now.
Let's also remember how long we waited for the No Way Home trailer.
Yeah.
That was a whole fiasco, and I think they're gonna do the same thing that they did with that, in which anticipate it. They keep teasing the trailer. Is it coming? Is it not? And that's going to be promo for them.
This movie is going to be Disney's movie of the year. Like, just being very honest, I think it's going to bring out the same type of crowd as Black Panther did. And it's going to be such a huge event. So for them to still be waiting on this trailer,
it's going to make money no matter what. They don't need to release it. They could not release anything.
But no, I'm saying they know that anytime they release a trailer for this movie, it goes viral. Like, it just immediately it just goes crazy and crossing outside of the Disney community. So they're holding once. They're waiting on it.
It already got leaked. Disney, just give it to us.
Yeah. All right, we're going to keep moving on. We're going to go into our segments tonight. We're going to start with a new segment. That's because we have some sexy news, and if there's sexy park news happening, we're going to have a segment called, you guessed it, a Sploosh Mountain.
you feel the love tonight.
All right. So this is our sexy segment about sexy things that are happening at Disney. Or maybe not sexy, but they're sex related. So you know what podcast you're getting into.
I think they're pretty sexy.
They're pretty
it's
sexy.
fitting that it's after midnight that we're talking about this stuff.
Oh, it's true. It's true. We record this usually at 10 in the evening, so it is after midnight.
The Rats After Dark.
Yeah, it's Rats After Dark. So first, let's begin with a guest shares a photo of her flashing her breasts at Epcot. This, of course, is I can't remember her name.
Ayla Adams.
Yeah, and we're all good with sex work around here. No problems.
Support y'all.
We support y'all, but
keep your tits in at Disney.
Yeah, maybe keep your tits in at Disney.
Even I have a question about her.
Okay, go ahead.
Is she the same person that did the Skyliner video?
I think it's someone else.
It's someone else.
No, that's someone different.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this entire time I thought they were the same person. I said, "Oh, she found her shtick," but I guess I'm wrong.
No, it's a different person.
No, the other girl has her OnlyFans. This girl has her own website.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I did some deep research just to understand this topic better. No, I'm kidding. So
it's for science. It's for science.
It's for science, people.
Yeah, it's okay. The $10.99 was worth it. It's okay, Nathan.
Yeah, sure. It's coming out of our budget, which we don't have. Yeah, I mean, at least she picked kind of an interesting spot for it. It was at the kind of by the squirting fountains.
Can you feel
Over by them squirting fountains. You know what it is. So, but yeah, she was over at the Imagination Pavilion, kind of not around people, but she wrote "Bad girls go to Epcot," and then had a sunglasses emoji, and then she knew what she was doing. She knew what she was
doing. They always know what they're doing, and they always want to be like, "I'm not doing anything wrong."
But why get trespassed for this? Like, because you could easily get trespassed for this.
Well, is she really going to be coming back?
Actual Disney fans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. These people are not actual Disney fans.
No.
It's like the girl that brought in the sparkler. She's not, like, nobody knew who she was.
No.
So she's not one of, like, a Disney influencer. These people don't care.
Yeah.
They want their 15 minutes of fame.
And that's the thing. It's like you're ruining something for a lot of people for a quick tweet that's going to go maybe viral for 5 minutes and be forgotten in about a week. Like, is it really worth it? I mean, I hope you got the clicks on your website, but it's just ridiculous. Like, don't do that in a theme park where there are kids around. Just don't do that in public in general. Like,
yeah. Well, and I have all sorts of like. This gets back to the fact that we're all like tit phobic in America, and like it shouldn't be a big deal at the beach.
It shouldn't.
Like, but it's about where you're at. It's not about like, oh, the poor kids. It's just like
I don't need to have that conversation with my kid at Disney.
There. Exactly. It's not part of our culture, so you have to talk through it, and yeah, this is not, she's got to go over the wonders of life.
Yeah,
that's where you show your tits.
It's not, because I feel like when these conversations come up, it's not as being like prudes or like being like anti-sex work or being like anti-feminist or any of these different things, because I know that's the conversation that always gets brought up when you're kind of against this type of bullshit. It's just the fact that it's bullshit. Like it's just what's the point of this? You're not doing nothing special. Yeah. So
it's also just it's the intention behind it, and they want people to be outraged, and they want people
exactly
to be upset by it.
Yeah.
There is no conversation to be had about it. There is no intellectual conversation to be had about it. They just want clicks and virality.
Yeah. And if you want to do stupid shit, why pay damn near $200 to do stupid shit? Like,
well, it's pretty clear she was just on vacation, is my guess. Like, people just make content wherever they're at, it seems. So
okay, cool. Content queen.
Yeah. But like,
queen. Do you think they let her back in?
No.
I don't know if she's a big enough deal. I think it's a one-time thing.
No. I was gonna say I don't think they even know.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I don't think anybody noticed.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't risk it. I mean, I'm not flashing my tits at Disney. I don't want to risk it, but
Not intentionally, at least.
Not intentionally, at least. Who knows? Mission Space moves really fast. Who knows?
Oh boy,
Cosmic Rewind be moving back and forth a little too much for my liking.
Yeah, you're just in the middle of it helping Rocket, and all of a sudden there they go. Let's continue on though. We have one more story in our sexy segment, and this is kind of interesting to say the least. 3 Orange County deputies resign after having sex at Walt Disney World while on duty. Now, they weren't having sex with each other, just so we're clear. Or they were, but not
that's
as a
lame.
threesome. It wasn't a
In a
threesome.
triangle, like a love triangle, not in a...
Yeah, like a love triangle. They weren't like banging each other in the Disney Springs parking lot. It'd be hotter if all 3 were in on it at the same time.
That's what I thought it was.
That'd be more interesting.
Hold up. So there was 3 locations, and one of them they did it in a church parking lot?
Yeah.
Not the church.
in the Lord's parking lot?
Back
as someone who fooled around in college with his girlfriend in a church parking lot, I'm just gonna have to say I get it, because they're quiet and there's not a lot of things going on there. So
my question is, did they talk to each other about this is what I did last night, and the other 2 got the ideas?
No. So one of them had some sort of entanglement, and then they had a falling out, and then the female cop,
it was on the body
started
cam,
sleeping with her supervisor, and the guy that she used to sleep with was mad about it, and he's the one who ratted them out
and lost his job too. All 3. No, the body cams were turned off when they were doing these things. Yeah, they turned them off. And so it's pretty obvious something's going on when you keep turning your body cams off at the same time in the same locations. With the same people.
They're not the brightest people, are they?
No, but
they're cops.
Orange County cops? Are you kidding? No. It's surprising. It's surprising they didn't take some time out of their day to also cause harm to somebody. Or just shoot a gun randomly.
That's just not news.
Yeah, the only time they turn their body cam off is for those 2 reasons.
Yeah, sure. Here's the thing. I'm trying to figure this out. Let's have this conversation first.
Yes.
We need to figure out which garage they be fucking in. Is it grapefruit? Is it lime? Or is it orange?
It's gotta be lime.
I'm sure there's a permit somewhere.
It's the one where you have to go to the bridge across the.
That's what I would assume.
Yeah, I don't remember
what I was thinking.
It's too bad they don't have, the peach garage.
I was gonna say.
I mean, he was parking in her peach garage, if you know what I'm saying. So,
as the wise Cardi B said, I want you to park that Mack truck right in their little garage.
That little garage. So anyway, they that's all there really is to it. It was all consensual, but they were banging in a Disney Springs parking lot. So
on the job.
I thought it was gonna be like that one girl who got fired because she was banging the entire squadron. That's what I thought.
Squadron?
Was be.
Yeah, I mean, she was well on her way.
What was this?
She was. It wasn't a Disney thing. It was just it was like a girl. There was a cop. She was just going.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. You said squadron instead of squad, and immediately I was like people banging at the rebel base. What's like a rogue squadron just scissoring over there, getting all orgies.
My ES not scissoring.
They gotta release the tension somehow.
I mean, maybe some are. It's a squad. You don't know. Girls and boys are in squads. Rogue Squadron had many pilots that were female. So anyway, so that's Sploosh Mountain for that's Sploosh Mountain for this week. I hope this segment continues. I mean, I guess sexy things will have to happen, so we'll find out. But now to a segment that we never don't see, which is of course, Beware Our Guest. So we got a couple things going on, and they're all TikTok related. Every single damn one of these things is TikTok related. First of all, let's start at Disneyland. Apparently there's a new TikTok trend, which is try to get yourself killed in Mission Breakout.
Which is crazy.
So apparently they've been loosening their belts, or not. They'll tighten them, but they'll keep them really loose, and so they get more air time.
Yes.
which is
how do you do that? Like, do you just like put like your arm underneath it while you're
yeah, I would
locking it
assume
in?
so. Yeah, I would assume it's something like that, and then you just kind of pull it.
It's pretty much that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Those are small, it's hard for the CM to see what's really going on.
It's really dark in there, and they probably won't be able to catch it. But this is something that's been happening for forever. People have been doing this since the Tower of Terror days.
Yeah.
So it's just the
I'm
fact that they're
assuming
sharing it on
people
TikTok.
Yeah, they're sharing it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My big thing was always, I'll just say it because I'm not an AP anymore, but my and I wouldn't do it too bad, but I always gave myself a little space on Big Thunder because you could get some fun air on Big Thunder. But you were pretty locked in, it wasn't like a seatbelt, it was like a whole iron bar. This is a slightly egregious, and yeah, you're absolutely right, there's nothing new about this, but TikTok, all TikTok ever does is let out the good secrets, and then the stupid people do them and get hurt. So this is another example of that for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. Two quick stories. Two TikTokers. One ate a bread bowl while on Incredicoaster, and one drank Splash Mountain water at Disneyland. So
disgusting.
What a waste of bread bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, I'm kind of impressed that they ate it on a coaster. Not that I'm encouraging it.
Loop de loop.
Yeah, was there soup in the bread bowl? I hope there wasn't soup there.
It doesn't look like there was
just
soup.
bread.
Yeah, it looks like the soup is gone.
You don't lead with bread bowl if you've got soup. Like, if you can say, lady
tries to eat soup on a roller coaster.
Tries to eat soup on a roller coaster. That's what you write.
Yeah.
I would be more impressed with that one.
Oh, for sure. Bread's bread. Like, you want
to,
like, congrats. You want a cookie for that?
Because in my brain, I said the loop-de-loop, somebody else got soup in the face.
Yeah, because there's always that, like, residual little bit left of soup in the bread bowl. That if she went on the loop, like, some of it must have came out.
That's called loop soup, as we all know. And loop soup stays in it. Centrifugal force keeps your soup in the loop soup bowl. That's how it works. That's why everything gets pressed down.
Loop-de-loop and it comes back in.
That's true. It just pops out and then falls back down because it's like a cartoon. Yeah. That's how you do with your loop soup.
But the splash water, why?
People disgusting. People are disgusting.
Nasty. You are wishing for typhoid and bacterial infections.
No.
It's not the first time. But I'm just thinking about that time where I got a little bit of Splash Mountain water in my mouth because I accidentally had my mouth open at the end. I tasted that water for the entire day.
Ugh.
I thought I was going to have to call 911 at some
Bro,
point.
it got in my eye. My eye got so red. Like, it's not
Yes.
The water is disgusting.
That's just a fuck around and find out situation at this point.
Exactly.
Like, if you want to do something stupid, then go ahead. Like,
yes.
I want an update on this person. Did they get tied to their toilet the next day? Because I feel like that's just what's going to happen.
Well, what's weird is they became a white supremacist. So
what?
Oh,
yeah. If you drink Splash Mountain water, you just become racist. Is what
you drink Splash Mountain water and suddenly you become colorblind.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gotta put it in your other eye now.
For real.
That's what Reverend Al Sharpton said.
Yep. I mean, whatever. Happy Black History Month. All right, so we're gonna finish up with one more story. A TikTok family, of course, because nothing says stable family like TikTok family. TikTok family has this is the Kelly family, showed off these shoes they made their son Cannon, spelled with a K, so he could ride big people rides.
Soren specifically was the
Soren
example,
specifically,
I think, which is horrifying.
Too small, and they gave him basically height. What are they called? Like, I'm trying to think of the term.
Platforms,
basically.
Yeah.
They basically gave him Frankenstein shoes.
Rigged, yeah.
They took little shoes and made them Frankenstein shoes, and they were very proud of themselves, and they posted it on there and said that he got on Soren, which is a really dangerous ride to attempt this on. Patrick is not happy with this. Patrick is not good job, pal. Great job, pal. This is bad job, pal.
I mean, why name your kid Cannon if you don't want him to be shot out of a ride?
mean,
Yeah,
I
I'm
You're
don't
gonna
personally
become
said
a
on TikTok.
projectile.
I just said if you want your child to get yeeted, I mean, there's easier ways to do that.
Yeah.
And
that's my issue with these type of TikTok vloggers, the family style, is that they use their kid for content.
Yeah.
Then they show us them putting their kids in dangerous situations, and then get very upset when people tell them that their kids are in very dangerous
and then they
situations.
lie and claim that that's everything that they did wasn't true.
Which is what this family has said, correct?
Which is exactly what they did.
That's what they did.
Not
because
only
you know
that,
how
but
you
then
make
they're
a joke.
monetizing the video.
Yeah, you know how you make a joke and then you completely do the joke? It's like, haha, here's a joke about me murdering someone. And then you show yourself murdering that person. And then you're like, no, that's a joke.
Like, oh, you thought that I was serious?
It's
Like,
like-
how could you think I was serious?
That's my favorite part. Is I'm like, we know you did this from the footage that you showed us. Of you doing.
Also,
this.
you named your
told
kid
on yourself.
Cannon.
Yeah.
You don't get the benefit of the doubt when it comes
the
to
kid.
judgment.
That was
Hey,
that was
really,
the
you're
first
really
offense.
judging the fuck out of them for that. He didn't pick the name.
That,
but
the
no,
boy
that's
is not
what
at
they
fault.
The boy is
No,
not at fault.
no,
It's the parents.
We're not mad at the boy. The boy simply was there.
No.
He has the unfortunate circumstance of having these two people as parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a victim in this.
thing
Like, that's
is,
in
people
every
get
Put in
capacity.
literal danger.
He's being exploited and
Yeah.
put at risk for content by his parents.
he should get some sort of reparation just for being named Canon.
100%.
That's
Yeah.
first and foremost.
I
Secondly,
mean, not before I get mine.
I feel
Right, Victoria? Damn.
real.
right.
real.
Cannon can fucking wait in line. The fuck?
Kid
I
can wait a
cannot
long
wait.
time.
I cannot wait for the era of family vlogger kids to grow up and tell us how much
They
this
have
messed them
been.
up.
They have
Oh,
been.
they've
Yeah.
been
There's been a
doing it.
lot
I
of.
saw this one girl. We got it from mommy bloggers because mommy bloggers were before
Yep.
the video content form of it. We've seen those kids come up and be like, I did not like that my mom posted my first poop on the internet. I
Right.
feel like now with vlogging, like video content, it's becoming more dangerous because pranks are a part of YouTube and
Sure.
pranks are a part of TikTok. They're involving their kids in this now, and I am not. I am so afraid for these children because there are no laws in place for them.
Yeah.
We
And-
have laws for child actors, but not
Yeah.
for
And just taking it back to just safety in terms of the parks, like it's not, there have been so many instances where kids who did not fit the height requirement or just maybe slipped out from like what was it was Roger Rabbit, like the kid ended, there was a kid who slipped out and he got crushed by the ride vehicle. Like
Yeah.
these situations happen all the time, and there are safety like there's codes for a reason. Like people are like, cast members are not being assholes when they're telling your 3-year-old that they cannot get on freaking Guardians. Like there's a reason for that, so that your kid does not die. Like
Yeah.
why are we
Didn't that
sorry, go ahead.
didn't that recently happen in what was it, Fun Spot?
The kid who,
probably.
Icon Park.
yeah,
Oh,
there was
Icon
the
Park.
kid who
It was
fell,
Icon Park.
unfortunately.
It did, but
yeah.
that wasn't the fault of the family. That was the fault of the ride.
It-
operator.
Yes, it was definitely that. But like
even
I'm just
then,
saying, like these rides
like-
are already dangerous, and we're all
Yeah.
already going in with this. Like anything can happen on these rides,
Sure.
but there are certain safety features that are in place to keep you and your children safe. Why are you fucking with that? Like I just and
Yeah.
it's for
And
TikTok. Like TikTok, anybody
they
can
started off the
viral.
apology.
like be
They
serious.
started off
It's
the
not.
apology with like they said that they care. There's child safety is their first and foremost priority. Obviously not.
Yeah,
They
Like,
cut the
obviously
video
not.
up.
yeah. And it's like
We
I
have
hope
not
that
taken
little
down.
TikTok fund was worth it.
Especially to market it in all apparent genuineness.
Yeah,
as
they made it feel like a
the
feel-good
ultimate
story.
Disney hack.
Yeah,
like-
yeah, to encourage it.
You are
Yeah.
encouraging it. So regardless of whether or not you think it's a joke, which is bullshit, obviously, people will take it as, oh, I can
Which
do
is
that.
The
It's a
stupidest thing.
tutorial. They gave a tutorial.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also not a good Disney hack because I've seen before this was even happening, cast members going, okay, I just need him to take off his shoes. We can double check.
yeah.
Like I've
'Cause
seen
kids'
those
shoes
things happen.
already have a little bit of like
Yeah.
cushion to them, a little bit of height.
Yeah,
So it's like
not unheard
be
of
serious,
to
yeah.
see them. Make sure your shoes are flat. Let's make sure everything's like they
Well,
really
some
check.
Of these little girls, some of these little girls' gym shoes are high heels.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't see it because they look like sneakers. That's also an issue where why are you like I know why you're bringing them to a theme park with these high-heeled sneakers.
Yeah, totally.
Why are you putting your child's safety at risk? That is my line of thinking is, are you really going to risk it all for one day at Disney? If they cannot ride this ride and they cannot understand why they cannot ride this ride, maybe wait until they're a little older to bring them.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, let's finish up with, of course, we finish every episode now with the Astuter Computer Poem of the Week.
That's why I'm a router for me computer. Everybody needs a friend. What?
All right, Astuter Computer, could you please write me a poem about, let's see, what can we talk about today that'd be interesting for a poem? How about Walt Disney's hologram? And Nelson Peltz and Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Can we get a poem about that? All right, let's see. What do we have here? Okay. So a Studio Computer says, provided by ChatGPT, the poem this week is, in a world of marvel and magic, where stories come alive, a Walt Disney hologram brought joy to every eye. He danced and sang with glee to music soft and sweet, and made us all believe in impossible feats. Nelson Peltz came by one day to see this magic show. Amazed by what he saw, he never wanted to go. But then a rumor started of a new movie in town. Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania would be the talk of the town. Congrats on rhyming town with town. Excitement filled the air as people came from far and wide to see the latest installment of Marvel's cinematic ride. The hologram watched with glee as the heroes flew and fought, saving the world yet again as only they would rot. And as the movie came to a close, the hologram bid adieu. Nelson Peltz left with a smile, and so did the audience too. For in a world of wonder, where heroes come to life, anything is possible, even a hologram with Disney's light. So there you go. Thank you, Astuter Computer.
I don't
what a
think
beautiful.
Nelson Peltz with us. I don't think he left with a smile.
I don't think he's smiled in years. So eat rich, nom nom nom. So with that said, Itzy, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Where can
I'll be back whenever you guys
We
want
would
me.
love it. Where can people find you online, on Twitters and the whatnots?
I'm on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Even have a Facebook page under the same name, so it'll be Itsy Bitsy Mini.
All right, so find her there. And guys, Rat Castle, of course, is produced by yours truly, Nathan Hartman. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Come on, get it done. Give us a review. It's been a while since we've seen any new reviews. We could always use some reviews. We love reviews. And tell your friends about the show. We're ever growing, but we love to see those numbers rise. And if you want to leave us a question, or go to our answer bag or anything like that, you can check out our merch at ratcastlepodcast.podbean.com, or you can send us questions at bit.ly/ratcastle. So that's an option as well. And now, of course, to finish off, grab your belongings and exit to the left.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?